2. It's been a bit of a mix-up, but I think that we're good to go. I'm just checking something to make sure that it's taking a second to update to the stream. Waiting for it to get the notification on my end that it's alive. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Hello, everybody. Whoever is still here, thank you for joining us. We are glad to have you. A little bit of an issue there, but we're here now. I'm going to start it up on the music on my side. And
I'm in a different spot.
Oh, you are? Oh, you changed the... Okay, that's
We're
wonderful.
in our right spots, but in a different area.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful.
That's just where I
New
put
scenery.
it initially.
I see. And we're restreaming again. Okay, let me change that. Okay, hello. Who is still here? How is everybody? Let's figure this out. So we are Roll for Bull. I am not doing all the introductions again. But yeah. This time for real, I'm adding the post. I'm going to be watching the chats. It's a little harder to watch the chats from where I am. But here we go. So, we have our heroes, who are these 3 plus Jin, who is a little late, but will be here someday. And...
It would be funny if it just happened as we got started.
Mm-hmm. If she just showed up, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good. That would actually be great. See, we've just actually been waiting for Jen, has been the whole thing. That's
Jen.
all we've been doing.
Blame Jen.
That's all we've been doing, yeah. Fatima's here. She's in the Facebook chat. Hello, Fatima. I don't know if I can see all the group chats right now, but I'm going to see what I can. So, we have our 3 heroes, 4 heroes, who just saved Mitros. Valis has declared that there will be the Great Games, which, again, very legally distinct from the Olympics, which is no relation whatsoever. The games are starting, or the announcement of the games has been made. You guys are in the palace. Now, I am willing to move ahead. And by the way, if you guys can hear us in the stream, let us know. If you can hear us and we sound all right, because we're still testing that out too. Hello, Tammy's mom. Thank you for staying. You are wonderful. Stalwart. Appreciated. What was I going to say? So, these heroes, is there anything that you guys wanted to do in the palace? Because I kind of thought that it would be convenient and swift if we jumped ahead, not to the games, but when the games are being set up. But if you guys wanted to do anything in the palace or anything you also wanted to do, please definitely let me know. This is your chance.
Nothing major for Kiki.
Mm-hmm.
Kiki would just really want to have a bath, but a saltwater bath. If they can accommodate that. Accommodate that.
That is fantastic. Oh, Tammy's mom says it's all good for the video and audio. So yeah, it is my computer. That is bizarre. Okay. A saltwater bath. I think that's a wonderful, wonderful plan. So what I'm going to say is there's going to be a few days between now and the festival, the Olympic, the Great Games getting set up. It's going to be a number of days, probably 3. But if you guys want to pick what you guys do in the meantime, that may or may not be a scene depending on what you go for, but feel free to let me know. Tammy, you're getting a bath and generally a spa treatment. Would that be fair to say?
Oh yeah, like seaweed wrap, all the sea kelp works.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
absolutely,
yeah.
Because that's the best for my glowing, scaly skin.
Absolutely perfect. Okay.
I mean, there's also a whole ass ocean right over there.
Oh no, we can do better.
I want to step outside. Hello.
No. No. Who do you ask? We're gonna jump right into it. Who would you ask about this bath? Like, who would you talk to? Costas, Valis, Kyra, or just like the general city guard? Like, what would be your approach to getting that level of care? Because it
I would
matters.
Okay, not a Costas. No, I don't want to talk to that ass.
Mhm.
But I would probably approach Valis and ask of her if she has this services, if she has these at the facility on site, or do I have to go out?
What was it? She looks at you and she says, a bath. You're asking me for a bath.
Well, not her, not you specifically. Just do you have the ability to do like saltwater baths and treatments here?
Euphemian and Callista, have you been to Mitros a lot? Okay, I want you both to roll history with advantage.
Okay.
Remember, I'm not from around here, so.
Mm-hmm.
18.
All right. And Callista, what'd you get? Did you speak up? What was that?
12.
12. Okay. Your audio's a little scratchy, but it's fine. So you get a 12 and an 18. Callista, you would know there's definitely bathhouses around here. You've been treated to them before. You've been a guest of honor for many people. Euphemian, I think that you may have been aware. The reason she's giving her that look isn't out of offense, but like you two would immediately understand. A long time ago, like centuries ago, Valis had the great bathhouses commissioned to be built in Mithros, and they are just massive spas, and on just an epic scale that a goddess queen of beauty would commission. And there's basically one giant chamber that's just steaming hot, pure, open up the pores treatment, and then one that's just like frigid cold. The term they would use is bracing, and both of these, and basically these have become so popular as a meeting place that it is like the social click for anybody or social hub for anybody who's anybody. Like the type of people that would use that phrase, the upper class, the celebrities, the elite. This is where they meet to do business, to go on dates, to basically to unwind, gossip, sometimes take baths. So again, we don't talk about it much, but Valis is, in addition to being extremely wise, just astoundingly gorgeous, and she has a routine, and this is much part of it. So it's like, it'd be like asking Kyra if you knew where you could find a good bookstore. It's like, yeah, I think I can help you with that. Is kind of Valis's response. So
when I see that face, I'll just be kind of like, I've never been here before, so I don't know what is available. And it would just be nice to remind me of home.
And she looks at you and she goes, I don't mean any disrespect when I say this, but I hope we can do a little nicer than home. I think that we've got something you'll enjoy.
You point me in the right direction.
and she goes, did you want my little sister to, or I could have one of the guards?
Oh, I don't think a guard would be necessary.
All right. Kyra, and Kyra just steps forward and it's like, yep. And she goes, I think that Kiana's earned a day to rejuvenate, don't you? And Kyra goes, spa day. Yes, spa day. We can do. And she like grabs your hand, and Valis goes, Kyra. And Kyra turns around. She goes, and Valis says, it's her day. And Kyra goes, I know. And it's like starts to lead you out. If anybody else has anything they want to say or do, now would definitely be a time. Hello, Jins and
spa day.
Hi, Christian. Hello, hello. Jumping in at the perfect time. Yes, so just to catch you up real fast, we already did intros, and we got all the tech troubles out of the way. Real fast, the great games, which are totally not the Olympic Games, are starting in about 3 days. I'm asking everybody what they want to do to spend the time. Depending on your choices, it'll either be a thing we go through real fast or it'll be something we do for a decent part of the session. It's all up to you guys. Kiki has been the only one that's spoken up. She asked for a spa day, which is how we found out that Valis, actually, because she is one of the most beautiful goddesses in the world, the most beautiful goddess in the world, had bathhouses commissioned 200 years ago that are just ridiculously over the top lush. And so Kiki is about to treat herself in an epic way. The other three of you are welcome to say what you want to do. Anybody that wants to speak up?
I was actually thinking about going to Ali, Callista.
About to go wow.
Always possible.
It's a total party.
Yeah, I come in and the first thing I talk about is sex. It's great.
Yeah.
Hi, Jen.
We are glad to have you here.
I was wondering if you have had a chance to be to the Great Library.
No.
Would that be something that interests you by chance?
Kyra just stopped, by the way. Like she was walking Kiki out, like, come on, do a spa day. You said that, and she's just like standing there, like she's not over there because it's not her seat. She knows, yeah, she knows when she needs to let two people talk, but she's just like, she turns to Keanu and she goes, "Can we just see how this plays? Can we just see how this plays out? Can we just?"
Oh,
is that okay?
yeah, sure.
Okay. As you were, she just turns around and watches you too. But go on.
I would love to go to the library.
Chance to
Nerds.
go to the old alma mater.
Rude.
Kiki or Kyra turns to Kiki and goes, "Library and backstory." And Valis goes, "Kyra, I know." Sorry, please go on.
I was just gonna say to Kyra, I'm like, you can just show me where it is, and then you can go with them if you want.
And she goes, "No, I'm with you. Gally, did you want to go with her?
How much you want to go?
She goes, "I can do both. I'm fast. I can do both."
Okay.
We promise not to read all of the books before you get there.
Thank you.
Okay, all I'm gonna say is I like you guys, but I need time for me. So I'm gonna go get drunk. Or something. Shop or something. I don't know. But I just need to be like not near anybody. So I'm probably gonna go meditate on a mountaintop or something.
As he says that, and I'm walking away like, "Love you, Cray."
And I try to make it loud enough so everybody can hear.
Valis goes, "Craren."
What? I'm sorry. Yes.
Better.
Yes. Yeah, I'm doing that grin that I was like, you know.
And she looks at you and she sort of sizes you up in that way that, like, I talked about before, where she could just like look somebody over and like understand all of the nuances of their being, and she like looks you up and down and just goes, "Be careful."
I'm always careful. Well, unless I get gorged by. Wait, how many times did I die already? What?
5, 6.
Almost 7, I think. You know, can you point me to like a mountaintop or somewhere where I can go hiking and just be in nature and not have anyone around me?
There's Volcanus.
I'm gonna go there. Don't look for me. Ugh.
So Callista, what did, I know that Euphemian invited you. Is there anything you want to say to him or do?
I want to go to the library with Euphemian, but before we leave, I want to tell Cray, don't have too much fun without us.
Yeah. Fun. Quiet.
You know where to find us when we get bored.
Yeah. Have fun, everybody. Bye.
This is where Raven needs sending.
Oh God, no! Don't you effing dare! I'm trying to meditate or whatever, and you're just like, hey.
Okay.
Oh,
Having fun yet?
25 times.
oh,
Having fun?
One sitting spell says hey. Another sitting spell says hey.
oh my God, that would piss off Cray so fucking bad.
Well, you can do up to 25 words with it.
So what?
it's
You're
just
just going like, hey,
25
hey,
times.
hey. My foster's trying to play keep away with me right now. So, anyways,
Aww.
She's got to learn what D&D time is.
she does not know what D&D time is. She does not know that's my time.
It's our time, Olivia.
Yeah.
It's our time on down here. So what was I gonna say? I still haven't seen that movie. So I was gonna say we will go. Well, Kiki, is there anything you wanted to do with the spas, or do you want to just chill?
Is this being offered to me, or am I gonna have to pay?
Oh, one second. No. You are. Let me be clear. Actually, let me address all of this right now. I'm gonna say all of you kind of leave the palace at more or less the same time or close enough to it. Kiki would have left first, and Kiki, when everyone else leaves, Kiki, you would see. When you walk out, there's like a crowd. There's like been crowds of people in front of the palace before. But whenever you come out now, you hear, oh, there she is! There she is! She was, that's the fish one! Oh, I'm so sorry! I'm so sorry! Kira, hi! Is this person shouting, like, literally greeting you, but they're at the bottom of the stairs, and there's a group of other people looking at him, and he's just like, hi, is it true that you drove away Sidon? And the rest of you would be coming out and seeing the same point, and you see this other woman look up and go, he's a fool, but he has a good question. Aren't you the ones that the king commissioned to get rid of Sidon?
Yeah, that definitely was myself and my group. The cute little one there, she's the one who drove away Sidon. She played the most wonderful music and drove him away to focus the attention on her so I can leave.
And they go, and what this other woman goes, is she telling the truth? Did you play music so beautiful, Sidon? How does that work? What did you do?
It's magic. And I'm going to cast Minor Illusion, and I'm going to kind of like recreate like a small version of like a picture in a picture book of like it happening.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. You bring up this picture book, and when you do, you hear this sort of hushed reverence from people just processing what's going on. And then, what was it? And as you hear this whole thing, people just murmuring. And then Kyra would have left Kiki, and Kyra's with Kiki and goes, can I just one thing real fast? Okay. And she just like comes over and she just stands out and she goes, Callista, and she kisses you on the cheek and she goes, okay. People of Mitros, and by extension Thylia, the rumors are true. These heroes, 3 heroes, one of them left because they aren't here for their own ego. But these heroes who are proud to tell you what they've done have driven away Sidon the Titan with their magic and their music and their great deeds. And your patience was rewarded. And you see she's like in full, like, I don't know if those of you that seen Midsummer Night's Dream, like the narrator just like talking to the whole audience. She's just full on in this mode. And she's just like, they fulfilled their promise to you, even when some people didn't believe them. And don't feel guilt or shame. There's every reason to feel doubt. But these heroes are watching over you. So spread the word. Because Mitros and Thylia are in the midst of their salvation against the Titans by these 4 heroes. 3, 4 heroes, it's variable. But now is the time to celebrate. And indeed, I tell you, the Queen Valis, in all of her wisdom, is throwing the great games to celebrate their victory and to celebrate your peace. And you hear them all murmuring and starting to like talk and get more excited. And she goes, so go tell them. That's not the part leading into the next part. That's actually, go tell them. And she like shouts and she like, when she says it, she throws out her hands like these like, almost like firecracker effects like spring forth from her hands of like silver and gold. And she just, and she's like, go celebrate. And people cheer and start to like, some people cheer, some people like run off, some people just stay and celebrate. And she turns and looks back at you 3. And like, not one of you in particular, she sort of winks and sort of mouths something, kind of like, you got this, you deserve this. And then she goes, and then she runs up to Callista and sort of whispers in your ear, you gotta give him a show. And then she just like comes over with Kiki and goes, just have to do something, we can go. People cheer for all of you, including Kiki hearing the cheers in the distance. As you guys get known as the heroes that saved Mitros, and word begins to spread over the next few days. By the time the Great Games come in 3 days, people will know your name. Households, you'll be a household name, the 4 of you. I'm improving your fame to rank 5. And at rank 5, if I have this correct, yeah, you are commonly celebrated and welcomed as heroes in most areas. It is time. Let me see. I'm trying to sort something out of my audio here. I don't know if you guys are hearing that. It's not looping properly. Okay, I have to turn it up a little bit. You guys, as you reach rank 5, over the course of the few days, I'm sorry that scene took a little longer than I intended, but I am trying to make clear one thing, which is, yeah, you guys will be known here. You will be celebrated, and you can get pretty free lodgings and most, like, the types of things a hero could expect, celebrity treatment, you guys can kind of expect when you go to places in this area. Kiki?
And in my spa, I'm going to get the whole works.
Yeah, you come into the spa. By the time you get to the spa, like, everybody is just really grateful to have you and lead you in. Did you want, like, the freezing cold, or did you want the warmth? Or, as one person excitedly tells you, they would be glad to try and adjust the temperatures. It may take a little while, but they'll be glad to adjust the climate to whatever you would like.
I'm resistant to cold, so I'll start off with the warm, and then I'll transition to the cold.
Perfect.
That's where I'll finish.
What was it? So you're doing that, and people just watch you, and just like, yeah, as they set it up for the war, Kyra just comes to the baths, and yeah, Kyra just completely being who she is, just completely disrobes and walks into the bath, asks if you're joining, and then yeah, I think, is there anything else you want to do while you're here?
I am just going to like float in the water and veg and just let my mind drift and just stay as long as I possibly can.
Yeah.
I won't get pruny.
You stay and you just completely clear your mind. And the next time that you're doing rolls, you will have advantage. You can have advantage twice, I'm gonna say, on that you can, 2 inspirations more accurately. Let me see what I'm looking for. Reed, you and Callista were traveling together, I believe. And as you travel together, you were going to the Great Library of Mitros?
That's right.
All right. You come into this place near the academy, built near the academy, and it is a large, gorgeous building, well maintained, statues to great thinkers and also the gods and titans. Garden around a garden maze, a bit audacious, a bit presumptuously, and just absolutely clearly the centerpiece of the academy. And as you walk in, there's occasionally people that are looking at you guys with some sort of awe and a little bit, mostly like confusion and kind of gossip. Like, oh, is that really? I think I know him. Wait, I think I went to school with him. It's kind of like some people like pointing at Euphemian for a second, but not really wanting to talk to him because they're not really sure what they would say.
He's like the popular kid at school now.
Yeah, yeah. Or he came back from summer vacation really hot, basically. And it's an experience I've heard of, but I'm guessing about. So everybody, you two make your way in. When you get into this place, I don't want to say it's quiet. What I want to say is it's hushed and subdued. There is a lot of sound, scratching of quills, footsteps, books being shelved, being set down. It actually sounds very active, but what you don't hear are any voices, anything sudden, this place of reverence. But that's not what catches your eye. What catches your eye is the vastness of it. Because I've described this building as large and impressive. But even within it, it seems almost four times larger on the inside than it did on the outside. With just rows of books and almost like floors that you can see, and like not like the floors aren't even separated. There's like bridges and walkways between them, so you can see up to each different floor, and you can see all these statues and shelves and everything. As you see them, you see Callista. You see up on one second row, one clearly a librarian pointing to this area back and forth. And as they do, the books just glide and sort themselves into different areas. A pile of books sets itself down in the reception area, and then you hear subdued, softened, what are almost like footprints walking away, as you realize invisible servants just working through this entire place, as the library almost maintains and runs itself. Euphemian, you're home.
I'll turn to Callista. Welcome.
Is that the building you burned down?
No, that was the practice holes in the back of the academy. This is the library.
It is. Okay. Do you know where the epic poems are?
It sort of orients himself. Things change, so.
Yeah, I would say any attempt to know where things are in this place would be anything that you wouldn't already know would be investigation with advantage. Okay. Anything that you could reason your character would know, you can just flat out say, and I'll trust your judgment on that.
Okay. Certainly poetry would not be one of my sort of my strong points, so I think I'll go with the investigation. 15.
15. Yeah, you generally have an idea of just fiction. Basically, there would be like the left wing of this building would be mostly like fiction and collections of art scrolls, and generally flights of fancy, to put it one way, would be contained in that one section.
Okay. Well, I'll guide her over that way, and narrow things down, sort of. And here is. Okay, that's epic literature, and continue down this way, and there we go.
Good enough. I'll find it. That's fine. I've read a lot of this stuff, but usually I just kind of have to like peruse through rich people's like private libraries, so I don't get a lot of choices. There's okay, wait, but like you're kind of a big deal here, right?
Hardly. I'm a scribe. I'm one of the people who maintains and brings in the newest sources.
Ooh, do you write any of it?
Very little. I am not managed. I'm not one for primary research. Secondary research. I mostly take in what I can find and submit it to where I can. To
Callista,
that end,
go ahead.
however, if and when you do complete your retelling of our accounts, I would be more than happy to submit it.
That's amazing. Yes, please. I can't even tell you. That's so exciting.
Oh, this gives me an idea.
I don't like that.
That always sounds scary. That gives me an idea. Uh-oh.
I think I want to kind of like, assuming that Euphemian's going to kind of break away and do his own thing, I kind of want to look through and see if I can find any like retellings of the like original War of the Dragon Lords or anything about them that's like, it doesn't have to be like history. It can be like,
what are you
fancy,
trying to find specifically? Just anything you can, or something?
Yeah, just like anything that will give me more information about like the war.
Your audio is cutting in now a little bit, but yeah.
Dang it, damn computer. Okay, I'll fix it on the break. But for now, I will just speak up.
Okay.
Yeah, anything about the Dragon Lords.
Okay, perfect. Roll an investigation check with advantage.
Who knows? No. 16.
Okay. 16. Yeah, you are able to find some resources. I can give you some information. I'd have to come up with, unless you wanted like something specific, I'll need some time to to come up with exactly what facts you find. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to cut it this way. You find these, when you study this, the next time you try to make a history check to recall something relevant to their origins, you will have advantage. And you can, if you end up with these books somehow, you can renew that ability every long rest.
Cool.
As you begin to study, and Euphemian, you hear this voice behind you. What was it? You hear this voice behind you. Says, "Quite the celebrity now, and now we're showing people around our old grounds. Interesting. Welcome back." And when you turn, you would see this tall, very thin man, tiefling, light green tiefling, with these glasses, and his horns just sort of curled out like a ram, and he's in these very smart robes, and he looks like someone who would refer to a library as old stomping grounds. His name is Atreus, and he is one of the great academics and philosophers at this academy. You're free to decide how much you knew him. He would be aware of you because you made a name for yourself in one way or another. But the nature of your relationship, I'm flexible on.
Okay.
But yeah, he's just looking at you.
Ah. Good to see you as well.
And this is your date?
Friend. Good friend. This is Callista. Callista, this is Atreus.
Good to meet
Are you interested?
I'm sorry?
In the two of you? Or did you mean in you?
Either one.
Forward.
You
Not
can see why I
objectionable.
like her.
Yes. She speaks her mind. I think that there's a lot of truth to that. Do you find that sort of thing to be your truth, Miss Callista? And he drops your name, and it becomes obvious. He's like, he's aware of the news, and he's just like, do you find that sort of talk to be your truth?
I mean,
Euphemia, you would immediately recognize. Euphemia would immediately recognize what's going on. He is one of the great philosophers, sort of like the Socrates thing and stuff like that. His whole, I don't want to say shtick because that seems reductive, but like his whole deal is that he really likes to ask people extremely indirect or disarming questions to get them to think about themselves. And he also like. He seems to like getting people to think about themselves more than he likes learning about them. Like that's how he learns about them. You know what I mean? Is seeing how they respond to these things. So he's. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to me, I think this is just, this is what happens when you come to this place.
Mm-hmm.
And so the uncomfortableness of this is just, that's what you get to deal with now.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, he looks, and did you say that the uncomfortableness is what you get to deal with now? Do you say that to Callista, or
No.
or are you saying
just
okay? Yeah.
It's understood, that's where Euphemian is. He's just sort of standing on the sidelines.
Mm-hmm. And he looks at Callista, and he just says, I have my own thoughts on that, truth, but I think that any given action changes any other action, and I would rather hear your thoughts before I submit my own.
So like I ask you a question and then you ask me a question back instead of answering. So should I just ask you another question? Is that what we're doing?
I believe I asked you a question about what your truth is, but if you wanted to ask me something, you're welcome.
I mean, I asked you if you were interested in either of us.
I think that it is virtuous to be honest, and I think that the most honest aspect of any base creature is to acknowledge their own desires and needs.
I'm gonna just kind of like look at Euphemian, like, is he always like this? All right.
Do you want to roll an insight check and get for like a little bit of
I would love to roll an insight check on this guy. I am struggling.
Yeah.
All right. Hell yeah. 21.
Get it, girl. Get it, girl.
I could just imagine Euphemian actually giving Callista that look that you just did, Reed. Fuck no.
1 second. Tammy, I messaged you something real fast. But he looks at you and what did you say, 15? Or 21?
21.
21? Yeah, no, he's sitting here and what he's telling you is, it is, if it's virtuous to be honest, and if it is virtuous to be honest, and it's honest to describe who we are as beasts. So it is virtuous for him to disclose the truth that he's attracted to you, and that's what he's saying right now. He is saying that it would be immoral for him to play coy. That's not saying he's asking you out on a date, he's saying that it is correct for him to acknowledge that you're hot and that he notices that.
Hey, how old is this dude, first of all? I want to know.
This dude is like the tiefling equivalent of like in his mid-40s.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. You're a little hard to talk to. Anyone ever tell you that?
Yes. He says yes, just very simply. And he says, and then he sits there and says, so I'll ask you again, what is your truth?
I'm a writer.
What's that?
I'm a writer. Is that not what you're looking for?
And he just seems very disappointed. And he just, he turns to Euphemian and says, you've always had a sharp academic mind. We could use, he says, we could use someone like you. Forgive me. I almost fell short of myself. I mean, he does mean it, like the virtue and truth. And he says, I think that you are very intelligent, and I think that it would be of benefit to the university, to the academy, if you were to make a presence at our debates. I would like to see you present your skills. Would that be to your liking? And I want to clarify, you would know, the debates are basically not what you would think. They're not like a debate club thing. They're basically the great philosophers, of which there are usually 4 at the academy, present questions and it sort of challenge other students or celebrities or whoever they have there to try and answer and reason with them, sort of as a way to, like, almost not really a game show, but kind of that format where they throw things at you and then gauge your responses in order to stimulate conversation by people watching. So he legit wants to, like, test your knowledge in front of people.
Are those trick questions in an interview?
Yeah.
It seems to me that the last time that I presented myself in front of one of these debates, Calcadon told me I was no longer welcome.
Yes. That makes sense. I don't disagree with him, but circumstances change.
If you think that it would be beneficial to have me there, certainly it would.
I'm willing to overlook your past indiscretions in the name of mutual benefit. Yeah, this guy, I want to emphasize, in his mind, he's not an asshole. Like, he's genuinely you know, like the great philosophers of old made a lot of enemies by their beliefs. He genuinely believes that the virtue is being honest about everything. So there's no subtext with this guy whatsoever. That does not exist for him. Not speaking your mind is evil. So he's just like, yeah, I'm going to use you. And he thinks that's a kind thing to say because it's the truth.
When is the next debate scheduled?
We had one in an hour. I can have, or no, he said I have one in an hour, but that might be booked. If you are pressed for time, I can make that happen. But if not, I can bring you back here tomorrow.
Perhaps in an hour, if we can make that work. It seems
I'll have the
best
other
for me.
person excused. I'll explain to the other person that they'll be needed back another day.
Very well.
Callista asked a question, and the answer would be yes for both of you, but I don't see it relevant right now.
Just like to know.
That's okay, I don't think I could make it around the stick.
It's pleasant as always.
One must speak their truth.
I can't begrudge it. And he turns to Callista and says, tell me not what you do. What you do is an expression of why you are. Next time we meet, tell me why you are, but before then, tell yourself. Good day. And he turns and just walks away. You can catch up to him if you want to, but he in his mind, he's like mic dropped you and he's out of here, like the way he's carrying himself.
I'm just gonna kind of shout after him a little bit, like not like scream shout, but just like loudly, like maybe if you just told me your truth, it would help me understand what you want to know.
This person, I'm gonna say this gnome peeks out behind himself. Shh, library.
I'm not used to quiet places.
The gnome climbs up a
Drop
step.
my ass.
The gnome climbs up a stepladder and taps a sign. People speaking above a certain volume will be silenced, and it is very clearly referring to the silence spell. Is there anything else you guys want to do here at this moment?
I would like to.
I will just, yeah.
If Callista is okay on her own for a little bit, I would like to go back to. I would imagine the Academy has some of the original treaties.
Okay. Wonderful. Yes, there would definitely be a section on that. Can I ask what you're looking for?
I want to see everything that I can find about the original treaties from the end of the last Dragon War. So, you know, what were the terms? What's known about the end of that?
Wonderful. Roll investigation with advantage. Jen, I'll come back to you. Jen, did you want to do your scene, or did you just want to say you're meditating? It's up to you.
Well, I mean, I know I wanted to really just be centered for a while. It's been a few weeks or whatever, and he's always been a loner, so being around people and doing all this stuff is really tough for him. So he's hoping that he could go into like just like a nature reserve, like going to Montana and just chilling at Glacier National Park. You know what I mean? By the
Oh
lake,
yeah,
like,
no, absolutely.
you know, or going out the beach and just walking along the beach, but just chilling.
Okay, so there's a few places you can go. This, and I'll give you choices. There's Volcanus, which is the giant mountain near Mitros, which is genuinely an inactive volcano. There is the coast, and there's docks, and there's a whole dock area, and there's even a giant colossus that's quite the sight for people to see and visit around.
Could I climb it?
Possibly. And then there's marketplaces. There's also the Great Gardens, which is genuinely like a giant botanical garden area.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to be near people. That's why he was thinking of like the Colossus. If nobody can get on it except for him, we could probably try climbing it. As he falls to his death. Oh my god, guys. This is my Keyleth moment.
This is
God.
wonderful. There's temples too. There's a few temples. Let me think. Vineyards. I'm looking through. Okay. When I told you guys before we started streaming that this would be the weirdest session mechanically, and the reason for that is because there's nothing weird happening narratively, but you guys know the types of games that I've run before. This one has like pages and pages and pages of this active hustle bustle city. And that's very different than like Barovia and Curse of Strahd and stuff like that. So like I'm trying to make sure like I cover all of the details right. Let me see.
Yeah, just somewhere where like, cause he just doesn't want to be with anybody right now. He just wants to like be alone, just because he's always been a loner and he's always been in the shadows. So he just wants to like, you know, backpack in the forest but not die.
Okay, perfect. Let me give you some choices. You give me your final answer. We can go with it. There is climbing the Colossus, possibly. It is huge. There is the vineyards of Mitros right outside the border. You can go in and out of the city pretty easily right now. Vineyards, Mount Vulcan, the Great Gardens, the bathhouse, possibly. A lot of people are there, but they're all very good at keeping to themselves, obviously. There's the marketplace, I don't think it would be yours. There's the Temple of the Five Gods, which is the five cool ones. And then there's a temple for Lutheria, a temple for Sidon. And the temple for Sidon would actually be pretty chill. How you feel about that's up to you, but it would in fact be pretty chill. And then there's a theater, which is not what you're looking for. I think that's basically it.
Okay, I'd like to try to climb the Colossus, like even like to his kneecap. I mean,
Okay, this is amazing.
like just some like what like is he just standing with his arms out? Because I don't want to go.
He's a very tall bronze statue guy with like a toga wrapped around his waist, almost just for modesty, and he's holding like a giant spear and has a spear strapped to his back, and that's about it. It's
Okay.
yeah, it's at least 6 stories tall.
Okay, wherever I can climb, so I can like just sit and like look out the coast.
All right, you just climb, move your way up. Give me
Oh boy.
an athletics check,
Okay.
and I'm not going to screw you over on this, or acrobatics if you want.
Okay. Let's see which one's better for me. Oh, acrobatics.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and do it.
Climbing is typically athletics, but
18.
16.
18.
18. Yeah, climbing is typically athletics, but
I can do that too.
no.
Oh.
No, what I'm going with here is the reason I'm doing this is because you've been in Mitros and you've been familiar with the different places you can navigate. And with your permission, I'd like to say this isn't the first time you've been climbing the Colossus. So your climbing isn't so much a measure of strength and dexterity as you know what constitute a foothold, where you can move a little bit. Like the Colossus is an exception that allows you to roll acrobatics. As you climb and move nimbly through, I'd say it takes you like an hour, but you're eventually able to get up to around where the cloth is and sort of sit at his waist. Yeah, I figured you'd like that. Sit at his waist, and you can look out into the city. Let me see, because it would be, if you guys are looking on the map, it would be right down here. So he's looking out towards the city so that everybody could see him. Oh no, wait, hold on, is he? Let me double check something here. No, he's looking out towards the ocean. So when you can look towards the city or you can look towards the ocean. Which one interests you more?
Totally the ocean, and just like sit
Mhm.
and like breathe.
Yeah. What is peace for Craven? What does that feel like or look like? Any description's fine.
I think quiet for him. Just like you can hear the babbling be like below him and around the city because it's a huge city,
Yeah.
and he can hear the ships and all that stuff, but it's all kind of like white noise.
Mm-hmm.
Just being by himself, like just having the wind and the ocean breeze come over his face and go through his hair, and he can just sit and just relax and not always be on guard. That would be his peace.
In just this one moment, Sidon's been chased away. Lutheria is not here. There's not a soul in the world that knows that you're here that would be able to find you. There's nothing to defend against, nothing to watch out for. And just able to breathe in and out without any hesitation or concern. And in that moment, Craven can take in the serenity of that moment amidst the sea, not just around them, but of the events before, now, and in the future. All those around, but not through Craven's spirit right now. Is there anything else you'd like to do, or would you like to stay here for a little while?
Oh, I am definitely gonna stay here. Is there like enough room for me to like sleep and nap, or no?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna
Absolutely.
totally nap on the waist of a colossus overlooking the ocean, with my back firmly against the wall so I don't fall
Mhm.
over and roll over and die, and then
Mhm.
just like unguarded relax.
Wonderful. As the day carries on without you, much to your blessing. Kiki, is there anything else you'd like to do right now? Or are you good chilling at the bathhouse?
Oh, I am good, just chilling. Like I'm in my element. Just like forget about me here.
Yeah, and Kyra, I think at one point would have just gotten up out of the bath, just like buck naked, and come back and just pounced back in and offered you some of the treats and delicious fine foods that they would have here. And at one point, Kyra is just sitting there like, I have forgotten how good this feels. And you can see like her forgetting that she wanted to go to the library. And she's just chilling, taking a moment for herself too. Unless there's anything else you want to do, I can skip over to the master debater.
Oh God.
I held off on that joke for a while. I held off on that joke for as long as I could.
Well, before you go off on that tangent, I'm just gonna agree that as I'm like eating the snacks and cheeses and breads and wines and whatever they bring here, I'll say that this is actually kind of better than what I'm used to. This is actually really quite nice. I could get used to this.
You deserve nice things. There's nothing wrong with admitting that. You know that, right?
I'm starting to see that.
And she reaches over and she's like,
in moderation, of course.
And she goes, why? And she gives you this big smirk. And pats you on the shoulder.
Maybe I can learn a few things from you, Kara.
And smiles. She's got this big shading grin because she knows she's like, this is gonna start something. I don't even know what. But she's excited. I think, is it all right with you if I move past to the library? Yeah. You guys go back to the library. Reed, you rolled a 21, you said, for the research of the treaty. I can answer a question for you now, or I can give you advantage on a history check later.
I'll go with it.
And any question I'm about to say, any question I answer is seen through the filter of what would be at the library, since we've talked about history and how it's documented here. So did you want to attend that debate?
Yes.
Callista, you would be welcome to either watch or even participate. You were not explicitly invited by Artreus, but it's pretty obvious that he would have no problem with your attendance. And over the next hour, I think that anybody would make it clear that you're welcome as well. Some of the philosophers that don't practice Atreus's school of philosophy would just explain that they'd be honored to have someone as wonderful as you and get a peek into the mind of a hero. And Atreus, at one point would just be like, yeah, I think it would be good for traffic, and it would really help people attend this. You're both incredibly beautiful and also a celebrity, so yeah, I'd have no idea how intelligent you are, but we can do this. Kind of be how Atreus would explain it. Are you interested in joining, being in the audience, or doing your own thing?
I want to be in the front row. I want to watch Euphemia in its element.
Wonderful.
Callista's not embarrassed to admit that she's not very smart, so yeah, I just want to watch her.
I will say, just out of my own, Atreus would say that makes you smarter than most people. You don't get a chance to have that exchange, but I wanted to just point that out. I get to write bullshit philosophers. I hadn't even thought of the freedom that comes with that. You basically, Euphemian, you find yourself in time in this large hall there's a number of podiums around, and in the middle there's like steps up in the stage, and you could tell the stage was originally meant like the type of thing that a professor like lectures and talks to everybody in a circle, but like in situations like this, it's one person who's invited up and to speak their mind. You see people in the seats, chairs, rows, I should say. Some of them with scrolls ready to take notes. Some of them just sort of watching idly. And then if you see a few fanboys and fangirls that are just like, oh, the Euphemia, I heard Euphemian's here. Very clearly like gossiping and not really, you don't get the feeling they're the academic types as they're watching this. Because yeah, this is an event for some people here. I don't think you've ever been in the middle stage for this, but you've probably seen it a few times. And like I said, sometimes teachers do go in the middle and they are asked questions and answer them. But this is also a different format they do. But as you come in...
I'd like to imagine that, it was probably a thing that, the students have a chance to, see these debaters and often just show up drunk.
That's fantastic, yeah.
Like they totally cheer at the inappropriate time.
Yes. Yeah, and I think it almost is like a brain sport. Like you like the Coliseum where people fight to the death. There's people that want to learn, and then there's people that want to decide if you're right or wrong, which is totally the wrong way to go about philosophy. But anyway, you are in here. Do you want to just go up to the middle and get ready?
Sure.
All right, you go in the middle, and in time, you see Mackinnon, mentioned before, a half-orc, comes out in grand robes, very large glasses. You see Calcadon. Oh, no, you mentioned Calcadon before. You see Calcadon, a small elven woman, comes in, sort of looks at you disapprovingly, and sort of unfurls a couple scrolls that she has. Herodotus, a gnome who walks up several books in order to get to where he is. Should be noted that all of the books he walks up to get to his lectern or podium are all books he wrote. And then Atreus, the green tiefling, watching you as well. And Calcadon will just say, we'll just introduce and explain to everybody what's going on and say we have a very honored guest here. Euphemian, one of the heroes of the Oracle and one of our alumni.
Oh, I can't insight check that. I'm not there. Oh, I wanted to check to see if he was meaning it. God damn it. Oh, well, sorry.
Wait, this is Calcadon, right?
Yes.
I mean, I want to inside check the crap out of all of these people. I want to see how they feel about Euphemian.
Sure.
Best as I possibly can.
You know what? Roll. Yeah, I'm going to tell you what. You can roll an insight check if you get above because they're professionals. If you get above a 15 on any of them, tell me who you're going to get, and then roll a 15 or higher. And then if you get a 15 or higher, Euphemian, you can tell them how they feel about you.
Okay.
Who are you picking first?
Okay. I'll start with Calcadon because she's speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, sorry, I just rolled the wrong die. Haha. Oh yay. Math. 15.
15. Euphemian, how does Calcadon feel about you? This elf, I believe referred to her with both sets of pronouns at this point, but she's okay with that for reasons I'll get into. And she, I believe you talked about before. Feel free to explain.
She is not a fan of Euphemian. He is brash. He is, all the kinds of things that you would imagine an elf being disapproving of.
Wonderful.
Except our elf, who enjoys those things.
Just completely annoyed by Euphemian being all a bit much. Calcadon does not have the vaguely hedonistic streak that Atreus has hinted at. But please feel free to ask about any of the others.
I mean, I'll go around. So I don't remember what you said the half-orc's name is, but...
It's Machion. Sorry, I mispronounced it before.
Machion. Okay. That's a 17.
All right. This is a half-orc. I think his philosophies would be based more on sort of what is real and what is meaningful just to give you a prompt, Euphemian, kind of like a Rene Descartes sort of thing, like what is, what isn't, and what things carry weight. He's also been in trouble before. I think only Euphemian would know this. He's been in significant trouble before because he at one point asked the question, not whether the gods are real, but whether it matters, whether that they deserve worship, which was very hotly contested. And he doesn't ask that as much anymore, but it's kind of unknown if he stopped or if he just says it more quietly.
I think
But feel free.
Machaon, I don't think he would have had a lot
Machaon.
of interaction with Euphemian, sort of at any kind of level. He's certainly heard of, the bullshit that he's pulled up on, and I think that has earned him a degree of respect in, there's mutual respect there, but I don't think that there's a lot of interchange.
Perfect. And then Karatas, roll for that one.
Oh, I think I missed that one. 11.
Yeah, you just look at Karatas, and it's just this gnome who just sort of looks around and stares at Euphemian kind of blankly. I'm going to say Euphemian never really got a gauge on him either, because he's got just ironically for a philosopher, a stoic poker face. That was a philosophy pun. Okay, so anyway, they begin. Atreus, just what was it? No, Machion. What is it? Machion?
Machaon.
Machaon, this half orc, would speak up and go, Euphemian, I would like to go first, if you don't mind. I would like to understand your perceptions of the world and how you define the things around you, if that's permissible to you.
Absolutely. If there's something in particular that you had in mind?
There's a ship. It is the ship of the Dragon Lord Adonis Nerdagon. It is from the old lands of Thylia, and it is from the old lands and brought to Thylia. The ship's name is the Valorous. 60 oars, a single mast, a great prow. Incredible. And over years, some oars were changed, replaced, and over years, planks were replaced. The mast was cracked and replaced. Each one of these things happened at least a year apart. By nearly 500 centuries, every single piece of the ship had been replaced. Is this the ship Adonis Nerdagon rode? Is it still the Valorous?
I believe a thing can be both the thing and not the thing. The materials themselves are not the ship, and the ship is not the materials. As a result, the ship that has been presented has a constant stream of memory, of existence, and yet the materials themselves are different.
So, a thing is not what comprises it, but the memories that it carries.
As much as anything can exist, yes.
A ship such as the Valorous carries no memories, but is remembered. If everyone were to forget the Valorous completely, all documents of it burned in a great fire, and people whispered no more about it, until one day it came ashore. Would it still be the Valorous?
Does it bear the name still? If nobody remembers what it is, then it can be both what it is and what it is not.
Interesting perspective. and he turns and looks down at his papers, and looks to another one of them, and he looks over at the others, and yeah, there's not like they tell you whether they agree or don't disagree. They are just trying to draw your thoughts out so that the students can debate them, pick them apart, and decide how they feel about you. So he just finds this very fascinating. Atreus goes, I would like to go next and speak to Euphemion, which I think is fair as I invited him.
Certainly.
Euphemion, I do intend to confuse you, and in that confusion find truth. Don't take offense to this. It's an age-old question, but one that I would ask you. What is the nature of good and evil? And by that I do not mean what is good and what is evil, or the definitions of whether an act is good or whether an act is evil. I ask whether, is it something that can be measured, whether it's something that can be quantified, put numerical. For example, a man commits a murder. His neighbors call him evil. They say he is evil, an evil man. And we may rightly say that. Hoping to atone for the act, he pays the family of the victims a great many gold pieces. The family is satisfied, and they forgive him. In fact, he pays so many more gold pieces than anyone would say would balance any scales of that measure, that they cannot possibly begrudge him any further. Where then did the evil go? Has it been removed from this world? If he was a man with evil properties, did it transfer with the gold? Was it something that was bought, sold, removed? Wherein lay that?
Evil exists within the perception of those around you. And so, if by those who have been wronged, if they accept that his purchase is sufficient to resolve their crime, then evil has been still committed, and yet it has been mollified.
So it is something that can be brought into the world by people and removed from the world.
Fair enough.
Is that what you're saying?
When a tree burns down in the forest and it burns down its neighbor, there can be no evil there. There's no intent. Only by free will does evil exist.
So free will is the progenitor of evil.
And its root, of course. If we acted simply as automatons, how could we possibly be called evil? Following only the instruments of our programming. When a wolf bites down on a rabbit's neck, that's not evil.
So those with free will and intelligence, because are you saying that a wolf is without free will? So does this mean that if free will inherently it contains an aspect of evil? Does that make the gods evil? The progenitors of evil?
Evil is a part of free will. One cannot separate it from free will any more than one could separate gold from gold. It is the thing in itself.
So the gods can commit evil deeds?
I think that if one were to look closely at the past, one would have a very difficult time to argue otherwise.
You hear a lot of murmuring when people are talking about that. People are just like wait. People, like you see like some of the like nerds that were just writing notes. Some like sit up and just like, they're scribbling this, and you hear Calcadon go, "Explain yourself." And Atreus turns and looks at her and says, "It's not your turn." And Calcadon goes, "Explain yourself."
I can say with fair intent that I've had more experience on a one-on-one basis with the gods than most.
And Herodotus hadn't spoken much. The little gnome goes, I'm sorry. Are you saying that in a position of authority as someone who is chosen by the prophets and who has spoken with the gods, in your enlightened, stronger realm of experience, that you have seen more evil acts by the gods than we are aware? Or to put it another way, they are literally more evil than we know.
I think that the gods have designs, but they are subject to the same foibles as the rest of us. Greater foibles, perhaps.
So when they commit evil, and Calcadon goes, their evils are more than those of us.
I believe I've said what I've said.
And Malchion just throws his hands up and just walks out of the room. And Atreus goes, I believe that Euphemion has given all of us a lot to think about and discuss. And I think that's something we should all consider. We'll take a break while people debate his words. Thank you all for attending. Callista, I want you to roll an insight check. 22. Atreus is trying to hide the fact that he's like, oh fuck, I screwed up. Like, and this like, Atreus is just like, oh boy, I brought a celebrity on here and he described the gods as evil. And like, it's not like it's illegal to do. It's like, it's controversial to do. And it's deeply controversial. So Atreus is just like, I did not think this out too far. So that is why normally all four of them get to ask a question before they take any sort of break. So like, it's very quiet and subdued and not much is happening, but like anyone that's in the know, like Euphemion, and in this case you can tell like, oh, okay. Machion not so much disagreeing with you as like, I agreed to celebrity appearance and then I'm getting pulled back into this shit, because it's pretty famous that he like didn't have these arguments before. And he's definitely more on your side, but he just, so, I mean, it's just, again, not illegal. It's just like, would you like to say anything to the audience? Yes, this is what I think of the Israel-Palestine debate. It's kind of like where this went real fast. So that's kind of what's happening. They're going to take a break. Atreus is going to walk over to you. Callista, you're free to do what you want. And
I'm like running straight up to join the two of them.
okay. Atreus walks over to him and goes, you've put me in an imposition, and it's something that I had to have foreseen and did not. And either I've undone myself or you have undone me. I don't know which. I imagine Machion would have his own opinions on that. Do you appreciate what you're saying here?
I understand what I have said. And I have seen with my own eyes what has happened as a result of the gods' interference. I think it's time that perhaps we start to acknowledge this.
Roll a persuasion check.
Persuasion.
Did not see the session going here.
It's a 19.
We are not who we are if we stop being that person when it is unpleasant or uncomfortable. Walk with me. I feel bound to hear more. And he would he feels it's his moral obligation to hear you out if you want to expound. And he is inviting you to give him the full play-by-play of what you guys have been through, which obviously we would, fade away on, but it's your choice if you want to.
I will. Yeah, I think that it's something that we need to start talking about.
Callista, are you joining that, or what do you want to do?
No, as they start walking away, I'm gonna kind of like tap Euphemia on the arm, and I'm gonna be like, "He wanted me to go up there. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if they'd asked me that?" And then I'm gonna leave.
That would have been so different. Are the gods good or bad? They're hot, and they kiss like this. So anyway,
I'm gonna go wander out into town and just for somewhere that I can drink and gamble and socialize. And we don't have to
Wonderful.
do it. That's what I'm gonna go do.
Perfect. Not the session I planned.
When is
think
it ever?
I think we can fade away. I'm going to ask all of you guys. Does anybody... My plan right now is to sort of fade to the next day, because it seems like you guys are sort of on good fade-out points. But if anybody wants to do anything, absolutely interrupt me and hit me up right now. You would not be rude, because I want to do what you guys want to do. Jen, you want to go ahead? Do you want to do something, or do you want to...
No,
skip on?
absolutely. I think that maybe after he's had a really good nap and was able to chill and meditate without anybody around, he's in an actually surprisingly really good mood. So he'd probably hit up a bar somewhere and just drink and I don't know, challenge somebody to a race or something.
Oh, that's great. I think that you and Callista... Hold on, wait. There's actually a list of the bars. Let me find them. Because I love this thing.
He had a
there's...
good poop in the woods first.
Yeah.
He needed some me time.
So
Hey, no one's gonna see. It's just right off the edge of the Colossus. No one will see.
So I'm gonna say there's two major taverns here, and you guys. I'm gonna have you both privately, Callista and Craven, privately message me which one you're going to. So, and don't say it out loud, because if you guys end up going to the same spot, then that'll happen. But there's going to be one called the Siren's Roost, which is basically run by a woman, exceedingly beautiful, and people sort of debate whether she may be a nymph or something. She runs, basically, Allie's gone.
Hey, plug in my computer.
Okay, I'm just going to talk to Jin then, I guess. So basically, a lot of the traveler races, elves, dwarves, humans, things like that, mostly populate the city. There are very, very few of the Thylian races of, satyrs, minotaurs, and stuff like that. When I say few, I mean 1 in 20, maybe. It's or 1 in 50. It's sparse. And there's always sort of this otherness vibe in a lot of ways for some of them. It's not real aggressive or anything, but the Siren's Roost is the Siren's Roost is basically this one tavern run by this woman named Ambrosia, and it's the reason I gave you all that is it's one of the few places where kind of everybody comes there and they feel like they're on even footing. They have a lot of staff that are satyrs and centaurs. Satyrs, centaurs, minotaurs are there. A lot of elves and dwarves are there. Lots of wine and music. Just really a decadent vibe. Just a very, give me wine and time with a courtesan kind of thing. It is the high class kind of trashy. And then there's also the Satyr's Tail, which is down by the docks, and it is rough and tumble, to put it
That's
one way.
spelled Tail or Tale.
Tail.
Okay, that matters.
So yeah, the Satyr's Tail is basically, it is like a seedy bar run by a guy who used to do some really horrible things. The wine is a bit watered down, but it comes at a good price, and people don't really ask many questions when you're there. So I think I know where you guys want to go, but I need you both to message me either Siren's Roost or the Satyr's Tail. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, you both go there. You both end up going to completely different taverns.
Okay.
I was thinking we were going to the same one.
Cray, what was it? Cray, making your way to the Satyr's Tail. I'm gonna say this place just like lots of loud, raucous fighting. Like genuinely one of the only places where like you could see someone like thrown through a table and everyone's like, oh okay, well I guess we can't use that table. It's kind of their vibe.
Yeah, totally
Go-
crazy thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
You go through, chill, spend your night there. What was it, Callista, in the Siren's Roost with all of, it's like, you hear the smell like incense and you see other satyrs, elves, dwarves looking at you, and several of them are very beautiful and looking at you in a way where they would like to get to know you better, and others that would like to get to know you better for a price. Although there might be a bit of a discount there given who you are. I think this is where you guys will spend the rest of the evening. And we can skip to the next day, unless I think that's it. Where do you guys want to meet up? Because I'm going to say that you four eventually meet up somewhere the next day.
Would be my vote.
I'm sorry, you got cut out. What was that?
The palace would be my vote.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
imagine so too, because that was where we were, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems logical.
Yep.
Yeah, what was it? Hi, Tammy's mom. Thank you. Wine and good food. Yeah, Tammy's mom, I think, voted for the Siren's Roost, which is wonderful. That is a wonderful bit of insight into Tammy's mom. I will ask you guys right now. There's a lot more to see in the city. There's a lot more to do. I got more NPCs. I got more side quests and moments like what Reed set up. But it is downtime. You guys, we can fast forward to when the great games begin, or we could do some more exploring because I've got more things in store. So I will let you guys decide what you want to do here as you start the next day. I'm going to say, hold on one second. Tammy, I need to message you something really quickly.
Oh, okay.
Sounds like hacker typing.
Man,
Oh no, I've been sliced.
Oh no.
I'm asking Tammy one question.
that's how fast Callista's writing all the time.
I think it's a fair question, though, Tammy. I think it's reasonable given what we've established.
So now you hear the
Okay.
hacking coming from Kiki. It's great.
Okay. Then each of you wakes up at the palace. I would say in your large room that you all have together, that you all eventually found your way back there. Kyra may have just gone to do some wandering in the night, not for any untoward reason, as much as she hasn't gotten to explore the city of Mitros in a while. So in the morning, you hear her knocking on the door, and just knocking, waking you all up, letting you know that the palace having this breakfast hall, and also she's going to go explore again because she forgot how nice Mitros is. She's been sort of on this, I don't want to say decline, but this shift ever since she was hanging out with Kiki of like, oh shit, I can just chill and vibe here. And it's kind of like gone off into this thing of like, she's become aware in the way that her mind works that there isn't like exposition happening. She has no idea about what happened at the academy. So she's just like, yeah, there's no exposition happening here. So I could just go off and come back whenever the story picks up again. Is her mind.
So
It's like,
when
let
she
these
wakes us
people
up,
have time to themselves, kind of thing.
Yeah, she's just gonna write down a montage later.
Yeah.
when she wakes us up, I do want to kind of like tap Euphemian's arm and just kind of be like, so do you want to tell Kyra? Should I tell Kyra? Are we letting her find out on her own about yesterday?
I don't think it would be a good idea to let her find out on her own. I feel like I do need to have at least a certain amount of accountability in this.
It's
I
been
mean,
one
I could
day.
just show her my notes, but I just didn't know.
No, I
It's been a
suppose
day.
that I should meet up with her. I feel like this might as well tear the bandage off as swiftly as possible.
Are the rest of us hearing this?
Yeah, you guys are all waking up next to each other. You guys, because this is like the room that you guys shared before, so it's totally whatever you guys
What
want to
did
do.
you guys do? It sounds like it was pretty, like, tense, whatever it was.
I burned down the academy again.
Oh, forgot. Really? Callista? You guys were gonna go to the library to read.
I don't remember hearing anything about that.
You guys were supposed to
Euphemian and I
read.
met a very attractive tiefling and had some fun, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Oh,
yeah, well, that's you guys.
wait. What's your definition of fun?
Oh, come on, Geeky.
How well do
I
you
think
know?
we all know.
I'm going to chase off after Kyla.
Oh, okay.
So as this happens, I'm like, Cal, what happened? Did he really burn it down again? Feed to black.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you want to catch up with Kyra then?
Yes.
Okay, you catch up with her, and she is just, I think she's just like got like this map of the city that like her magical willpower is just holding up, and this quill is just like making notes. It's like this, you know, like when you, if I don't know if those of you that gone to Disneyland, like you map out exactly where you're going to be every single hour, and that's like what she's doing right now. And she's in like the main hall, and she goes, "Oh hi, I was just the gardens."
It might be a good place for that, yes.
Did you want to go?
Sure.
I thought since we were just doing a montage, these are like a paragraph later when you're summarizing them. So
Of course.
I mean, nothing's happening right now. So
That may not be entirely true.
Hmm?
I got pulled into a debate at the academy. Let's walk and talk. We'll talk about it on the way.
okay. And she's like walking with you, and she's walking to the gardens with you. I don't know where I'm trying to look up where they are in the number, but like yeah, she's
There's something that looks pretty garden-like, sort of
Yeah, over here.
center left.
yeah. So she's walking with you towards the garden area. And as she's walking, she goes, Did you lose the debates? Because that would be really awkward since, I mean, I guess every hero needs a failure for this to work because, I mean, but I built up your intelligence a lot.
That's true. I don't think I lost the debates. There was somewhat of a debate about the debates. Anyway, there was conversation, and I may have said that the gods were capable of evil. And,
Why?
well, it's kind of true.
No, but why?
It was a direct question, in my defense.
I mean, everyone's capable of making of evil. Everyone's capable of making mistakes. It's not wrong.
I totally agree with this. I had
Can I
framed
ask you
it
something?
as... Yes, of course.
Since that's not really how those things are taught, that's probably a thought that you came up with on your own, which is good. It's good. It's good. When did you start thinking that way?
I mean, you know what my background is like. I've always followed the gods, but can you blame me for some
No, I
modicum of doubt?
I don't blame you. I think that you're right. I just think that, have you always felt that way? Because if you didn't always feel that way, I just want to know when you started thinking that way.
I feel like the distinction between a mistake and evil is harder to decide than anyone would ever give it credit for. And I fully believe that evil is as much a part of free will as anything. And that's very much the point that I made. But to say that I'm a cynic is hardly...
Can I ask you a philosophy question?
Certainly.
If something evil happens, I think I've heard that question. I remember one of them asked it at the oh, there's this question at the academy. I think you'd love it. It's about this man with this gold. But basically, let's say a man kills a person.
Actually, I think we got over that yesterday.
Okay. If the gold he donates, I'm going to ask it different. If the gold he donates is so great, so vast, that it outshines any goodness that the other man could have done with his life, that might be good. But let's say that he only donated that gold because of the guilt he felt from the killing that person. The evil would be the beginning of something good. Is it still evil?
I'm going to look around and sort of make sure that we're as alone as possible.
And she looks around too, basically because she sort of just is having trouble, getting a little harder to make eye contact as things go on. But yeah, go on.
We aren't as different as I'd like to admit. I don't know if that's...
You're cutting in and out a little bit, sorry.
Sorry, I think it's quiet. You know what happened to me as a child. You had... I'm sure that story has reached you at this point. I killed a small child. Now, whether that murder is justified or not, I have worked my whole life to be someone who was better than that Euphemian ever was to me. I don't know if I can give you an answer without casting judgment on my own sins.
Valis. Okay, sometimes she says things and it confuses me, and it's a lot. Sometimes she asks questions and has the philosophers and the debaters to her palace, and they go back and forth for a while, and sometimes I ask them who they think is right and everything, and sometimes she gets annoyed. And one time she got annoyed and told me that the answer isn't as important as the fact that you are providing an answer, which is very confusing for a very long time. But I think that kind of makes sense here, and I think maybe we should I'll just keep trying to. You guys are doing great.
For what it's worth, I don't think the act of evil in question is what matters anymore. What matters is that you always try to do better.
I'm gonna say something, and you're keeping secrets from me, so I'm gonna keep my secret and don't tell anybody that I told you this. Please keep telling people that. Please keep telling people what you said at the halls, because it surprised me a little bit. But honestly, people need to question us more. It's really weird that they don't. And I think the more that they don't, I think the more people that don't like them have a point. I was serious about going to the gardens. Did you want to come with me?
I don't have anything else better to do. Might as well.
They're beautiful, and there is this halfling there. He is deeply unpleasant. You'll want to meet him. And she sort of leads you off there. Is there anything that the rest of you guys want to do?
I was hoping to.
Did you want to do the thing we talked about?
Yeah, I was gonna I'll say, hey guys, I think I really enjoyed. I gotta tell you all about this Colossus man. He's a big, tall man, and it was awesome. I don't know if you can climb up there. I'll show you guys one day, but I'm gonna go chill out there again. So if you guys don't mind, that would be awesome.
You're gonna have fun with a big tall man?
Well, by his waist. Yes. Okay, bye.
I mean, I don't know. If you want company, let me know.
Yeah, bye. And
Wow.
I'll show you tomorrow. Bye. And so I head on off to go and do that, to go and meditate. But then after I've done meditating for like a little while, I'm going to go and see if I can sneak.
To the place we talked about?
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we then?
Yes, if you're ready.
You, in a small village near Mitros, like down the road, a community, few houses. It's people pass through there all the time. People stop for trade and for food and things, and sometimes people stop there because they just left the city or want to take a breath before they go in, and as a result there's all kinds of people that you don't really question when they come into town. It's the polite thing to not ask, and also the safe thing to not ask. So as small as this community is, they're very used to not asking much. So when you get there, there isn't many eyes raised, and I don't think many people have heard of you just yet. And if they have, they haven't said anything. Sooner or later, you find the man that you're looking for. Stops in one of the shops for like food supplies. Roll a stealth check with advantage.
18.
18.
Ooh, thank goodness for that.
Mm-hmm. As you find your way, what was it? What was it? You find your way in, or you find your way to follow him back home, to his home. And a small little house, near a small shrine, less than a temple. And humble is the polite thing people call places like this. Mud all along the sides, the windows open, and a few goats. Not any that anybody would be proud of, but technically they have goats. And at the table, he walks in, sets down some bottles of wine and some bread, also some vegetables that he bargained for. And he looks out and he looks around and goes, "Well, I brought food. It's the feast that you're used to, the best that I could make happen. So everybody feel free to come eat." And as he says this, you hear this woman just calmly walk in, smile at him, and she just thank you and sits down to hear the bum, 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 as this young girl just runs in and just jumps at the table and sits down at the table, almost crashing into it, and just sits. You are watching just outside the window, but careful enough to not be seen.
Do they look healthy?
Yeah, they look healthy. They look happy and
happy. Yeah.
Yeah, they talk to each other and talk about their day. The young girl is just babblingly full of information. I'd say maybe 8. Just completely rambling full of details. And
Ray just wipes a tear away, which I just did right now.
Yeah, and the husband goes, "So when I was at the market, I heard some interesting information." And the mom goes, "Oh yeah, I've been hearing a few things about what's going on in the city. The storm clouds passed." And he goes, "Yeah, that was supposed to be the result of the heroes that the king said was the king commissioned, that were also brought together by the oracle." And she goes, "The oracle's rarely wrong. That's good." He goes, "Yeah, honey, and she looks at him and goes, "Are you okay?" He goes, "Yeah, just that they mentioned them, the goddess, demigoddess Kiana, the satyr Callista, who's supposed to be really pretty." And she looks at him and he goes, "Statement of fact." And he goes, "And also this wizard, Euphemian." She goes, "You paid a lot of attention to them." And he goes, "Mm-hmm." And a small elf named Crayron. And she looks at him for a second, and he looks at her, and you see just absolute fear in her eyes. And he nods, almost apologizing. And she turns to the girl and goes, "Mr. Sweetie, can you go outside for a little bit and play?" And she goes, "Okay."
Am I by the window where, by the door?
Mm-hmm. You're by the window, yeah?
By the door?
Yeah, you can be, yeah.
I have an ability as my monk
Mhm.
that I can hide even though I'm in like I'm not that obscured.
Yeah, like so like there's thick grass. There'd be overgrown grass. You could definitely hide in there.
I
if
am
you want.
hiding in there because I do not want to be seen by her.
Yeah. So she hides, or you hide, sorry, behind the grass. And she's like getting up, and she goes, "Can I take my food with me?" And he goes, and mom goes, "Yeah, Misa, of course, dear, you can." She goes, "Okay. Why do you guys keep saying that name?" She goes, "Can you please go outside?" And she goes, and she just like looks at her and sort of walks outside, like the kind of way where like a kid is heartbroken for like 3 seconds before they're like completely bounding again, and she's like runs out with her food. And you hear them talk, and she goes, then she's out there just, then he's out there just, I mean, he's okay then. And the husband goes, that was the point, was that he'd be okay. She says, I guess it worked out. Do you think we should go up there? No. No, I'm sorry. I think I'm just telling you what you already know. It was your idea. And she goes, yeah, it was. And they got rid of the clouds? Yeah. Well, that's not the first time he's pissed him off.
But at this point, do I have parchment on me?
Sure.
Okay. First of all, where's this little girl? Is she like
She's
near
out in
the house anywhere?
Yeah, she can be. She's like out in the front, basically their front yard. But go on.
Okay, because what I wanted to do was I wanted to leave a note to say I love you. And
Sure.
I have that ring that I haven't shared yet with everybody.
Mhm.
And I want to take that ring and I was gonna put it on the front door, but not if the girl is there. Could I just like slip
put it on
it
the
onto
windowsill.
their yeah, could I like slip it up onto the windowsill so that
Mhm.
they don't see it, so at least they'll have some money and stuff like that?
That's wonderful. Yeah. You can do that. Roll sleight of hand.
Oof. Cause
No
that's
advantage this time.
oh, okay, well. 11.
Okay. Let me see something real fast.
Oh shit, they're passive perception. Jesus, if they see me, I'm running. I'm out.
So the wife stands up as you're doing this, and she says, "We did the right thing." And he goes, "Yes, of course we did." She goes, Sidon demanded a sacrifice, and there was no way we were going to." And he goes, "I know. It seems like Sidon," or they said Lutheria. So Lutheria demanded a sacrifice, and she goes, "I know. I don't think she's ever forgiven any of us for that. But we had to watch out for him." And the mother walks over to the window and goes, "And I guess we'll just keep watching." And then she looks over, and she looks just in time to like see like a flash of movement as like this thing comes on the windowsill. She rolled an 18. No, you're gone. Yeah. The second you have enough awareness that you're fucking out the moment you even like the moment her voice stutters, you piece it together and you're fucking gone. But she rolled an 18 on her perception.
Fuck, man.
Which I know that's sort of fudging how it works, but I wanted there to be an element of chance on this.
Yeah.
But what was it? And she turns and she looks at it and goes, "What?" what? And she walks over, and you see her look, and you have no way of knowing this. Sometime later, maybe Kyra heard it, maybe you heard it, maybe it got back to some great bard in the future. But it would be the moment that people that would be in the stories where she just looked at the ring and at the note and went completely pale white as she understood what just happened. And
Yeah, I
I'll
I make my way. I go back to my friends.
Okay. On
Sorry
that-
guys, I just gave away our money, but
Can you message me how much money that was exactly? I need to take a break for like a minute, for like 5 minutes. I'll be back at 9:30 our time. I'll see you guys in a second.
okay.
Welcome, internet. They can hear us now.
They should be able to hear us now.
No.
Perfect. Welcome back. We don't have much more to go, but we are going to go there. I don't even know where this session is going at this point, because this is fascinating. Okay.
I just wanted a quick question.
Mhm.
So did we all just like go away and do our own things again the second day?
It sort of feels like it, but you guys can get back together pretty quickly if you want. Like, it's not gonna... I'm gonna give everybody a chance to sort of say what they want to do, but it would be pretty easy for you guys to get back together if you wanted. Like, it's genuinely what feels right for you guys.
I think after the day that Cray had, he just goes straight to the palace and just like just chill at the palace.
That's fair.
I would like to stop off by the docks just quickly before heading back to the palace on the way back.
Okay, is there anything you want to do at the docks in particular?
Yes, I want to see if I can find a ship that would be, you know, the transport ship to my home island. And just send a letter home.
Oh, you will be able to find that. Feel free to write the letter. What I want to do, if you want, because I want to get to these two mofos over here, feel free to write the letter, and we'll either come back to it at the end of this session or the start of the next session, or we'll come back to it when time is good for it, if that works for you.
Yeah. And then from there, I would go back to the palace.
Wonderful. Yeah, I think I need to improve the memory of my computer. Okay, that's neither here nor there. Callista or Kiki, is there anything else you wanted to do?
So I want to wander out into the city and see if I can find something that's like shiny and sparkly, but not terribly expensive, like costume jewelry-esque. Like more about looking ostentatious than necessarily being of extreme value.
Wonderful. Okay, what you want, there is the Great Agora, which is just the whole like upper class market district, has everything you could want. If you want to buy something, it is here. And this includes most items that are in the Adventurer's Handbook. If you want, you see people shouting, you see people hawking their wares, elves, dwarves, a couple satyrs, one minotaur, just all like advertising rows and rows of things, and all set like in this district with like a large amount of private estates and temples around. This is like the high-end marketplace. And so what are you looking for? Like a bauble, like a costume thing?
Kind of. Okay, actually, specifically, I would like to find a relatively ostentatiously decorated like sculpture of a dragon. It doesn't have to be huge, and it doesn't have to be like, you know, 24 karat gold or anything like that. But I want it to be sparkly, and I want it to be either a statue of a dragon or something with a dragon on it.
You roll investigation with advantage.
Okay. Uh-oh. Let me see. I don't know what I add to it yet, so hang on. You'd think by now I would learn what my stats are, but... Investigation. Oh, cool. 10.
Okay, you find... I'm going to say that you find a whole section where someone's just selling almost like dragon merch. But it's not like... They don't have any like grand statues or anything like that, but they have like plates with like dragons painted on them, and they have small like miniature figure like wooden carvings of dragons. I think at one point there's like a toga with like dragon symbols stitched into the lining, dragonware, and then I think yeah, a few different dragony kitschy, tacky things like that. If you want to make one up, I'll probably go with it. But
That is perfect. Okay, that is like just what I'm looking for. Okay. I would like to find either like one of those little wooden sculptures or a plate. If the plates have like a silver dragon on it, that would be ideal.
yeah, there's a lot of silver dragon shit because of Icarus. Like there's like basically
That is, I want a sculpture, a small sculpture of Icarus is what I would like.
there would be a small
You've
wooden
read my
carving.
mind.
There'd be a small wooden carving of I pegged you the second you were asking about this. The small wooden carving of Icarus painted silver. If you want to get that. There
Yes,
isn't
I
anything
would
made of
love to get
silver.
that.
Well, let me be clear. There is nothing of a classy value here.
That's fine. I legitimately, if it's of him specifically, that is perfect. I don't care what it's made of.
All right. You find that. It costs about, I'd say, like 5 silver. They charge a
Oh,
lot.
perfect.
Mm-hmm.
No, I love that. I'm not even gonna barter. I'm just gonna take it.
Perfect.
Perfect. That's what I want.
You, by that, are you correct that you're heading back?
Oh, yeah.
Would I correctly
You know
guess
where
where
I'm
you're going?
going.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you find
You know
your
where I'm heading.
every time I study like tons of pages about a session, it's always just like, and then we just are, and we just we do our
Fuck
shit.
around with NPCs all day.
It's good. You find your way, and then you find Icarus. He is in fact being fed, and he's got his hoard of silver and gold below him. Was it also? It was all gold below, right? But he's silver, yeah.
Yeah.
And you find him with all these attendants, and he looks at you, and he goes, "You've returned."
I would like to do a like big grand sweeping bow, you know, like hoof forward, head to the foot, like very dramatic, and say, I had to observe your might once again.
And he nods, like not returning the bow, but kind of nodding, like, yes, you are correct to do these things.
I brought you a gift.
Present it. And he rushes his head up against the gold again. He goes, lay it with the others.
I hope it pleases you. I'm going to pull out the small wooden sculpture of him. And then in the other hand, I'm going to pull out 10 gold pieces. And I'm going to set the small sculpture of Icarus on the 10 gold pieces and hold it out. Like, as though he is in his pile of gold.
Roll persuasion with advantage.
Okay. These dice keep fucking me over, but alright. Let's see what... I keep going back to my inventory and then I can't see my stats. Are you kidding me right now? Get out of here. Alright, persuasion?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, that's a 19.
He looks at it and he goes,
Oh, wait. Persuasion? I'm sorry, that's not a 19, it's a 16.
Because I was like, that's beautiful. 19. Holy crap.
He looks at that and he
As
goes,
my performance modifier.
he goes, I don't normally allow basic things in my hoard, but it is presented well. Throw it on the pile.
And I will just set it down. Like, I know he said throw, but I'm just going to set it down gently.
Mm-hmm.
Just with
he-
everything else.
And he looks at it, and you know I told you he just like rubs his face on the gold? He just immediately just nuzzles, and he's like, as he nuzzles and rubs it, it is completely fucking lost in the pile of gold. Like it is lost and probably broken, like instantly. As he just...
Hell yeah. And I'm just gonna say, like, can I do anything for you? Can I play you a song? I just want to spend some time basking in your glory.
Was that all the gold you could afford?
I could do a little more. Let me see. I could pull out another, like, 15. That would be 25 total.
It is tradition when paying homage to greatness that you give it what you think the honor is worth.
So I will set another 15 down, and I'll say, unfortunately, that's all I can afford now. But when I go out and I get more gold, I promise I will bring back.
I do not doubt it. This is good. You have done
Okay.
well.
May I play you a song?
You may.
Okay. I am going to see if I can locate the Boreal harp.
Okay, yeah, you could. I mean, you'd be able to have people bring it in here. That would take a while, but yeah, you could do that. So you bring.
Would
And
you say he weighs more than 500 pounds? Probably, right?
Oh, easily.
Okay. Then in that case, I want to cast Conjure Animals. And I would like to just conjure like 8, like, I don't know, birds or something. Like, I'm so excited.
What
Like,
type of birds?
it has to be something. I don't know, like sparrows or something, like small and twittery and like Disney princessy happy to like hopefully perch on him or like for him to snap at. I don't really care what he does with them, but like I just want him to be entertained, like, you know, like a cat with some like toys or something.
That was totally my thought, like Disney princess.
Yeah, so you start playing this instrument, and as you play this harp, you hear this chirping, and like. Well, let me ask you. The harp, basically, what we're establishing is it's basically more your ability to bring your self-expression into being. So, what is a visual you would have from your own life that you'd be bringing these sparrows from?
I would imagine it's probably like Callista's earliest memory of like being like content and happy. So like young, alone in the woods, and just like stumbling across this like magical clearing with like birds, and just watching them kind of like flit around in the sunlight.
So as they're flitting around, and as you're thinking of that memory, they are absolutely coming into being, just chirping, flying down, and you're just lost in this thought, and then you just hear this great crashing sound breaking. When you look up, his mouth is closed. It's not a challenge, but it is still fun. Thank you. If you can call beasts, being one more substantial next time. But this was amusing.
Okay. I will leave you to your pleasures, oh mighty Icarus.
As a thank you, you may take some gold.
I will take 1 gold piece. And do a deep bow. Again.
Yes.
Like, imagine Puck from Midsummer Night's Dream. I know you already said that, but like,
Yeah.
that same energy of just like, I'm just here to play with you. Like, I
Yes.
don't care about the gold.
As you leave, he turns to one of his friends. I let her take some gold. Such is the generosity of Icarus. Yes, my lord. Kiki, is there anything else that you want to be doing right now?
I would just basically say that just to pass the time, I'm gonna walk around and just, kind of munching an apple or whatever I get handed or offered, and just watch the preparations. If there's someone struggling with something, I'll give a hand, but just wandering around aimlessly, just seeing what's going on.
As you're wandering around aimlessly, do you mind if I introduce something, or did you want to zoom past that?
Go for it.
You're wandering aimlessly. You hear this voice behind you at one point that just says, I knew you were great, but I didn't know the many things that you had achieved beforehand. I would have given you much more attention with your kindness and bravery and muscles prior. And when you turn around, you see, holding this freshly cut flower, this satyr looking at you, Lorius from before. And he looks,
Glorious.
he bows this deep, reverent bow. Forgive me, beautiful Kiana. Forgive me. And he bows down. He goes to reach your hand, take your hand, if you'll let him. Yeah, and he takes it. He goes, Kit, forgive me. I was in Astoria, as you and the others asked, as you and Euphemian asked. We'll talk about Euphemian right now, but I want to focus on the here and now. And he kisses your hand again before he lets go. And he goes, No, demigoddess, I've been charmed by many powerful people, but how they use their power, now that's something. And I asked why they were celebrating you at Astoria, and I heard so many stories. You're humble. I would have told everybody I met the moment that I met them. I should be paying you more respect. Now, if I follow the stories right, you're here to help the people of this town as well. And you have?
Yes, we actually were able to get rid of the threat of Sidon.
You are mighty, and I love that. Why? Can I pick your brain, demigoddess? Don't take offense if I may not. I will apologize immediately.
Oh no, go ahead.
Why do you do the things that you do? The festival was there. You could have had your pick of any lover, believe me. And if you wanted greatness, I believe your journey was already done. So why here? People see you, people recognize you, they rightly look at you in the streets. But it has me, and he takes the flower and like sort of taps his chest, he goes, it has me wondering what you're looking for that you haven't found yet. Maybe I could help you find it.
Well, if I can be honest with you, Lorius,
Always.
I'll incline my head to him. For the longest time, my life was just following orders without question. And that kept me satisfied for a long time. But recently, I've started to think, with what the Oracle has prophesied for us to do good, I'm starting to think that maybe there's more to life than just following orders blindly. You know, to like love and arts and poetry like Callista. I never really gave that much thought before. But everybody I've met making me think that there's much more to life.
So curious. Kiana, and he bows again. He goes, he keeps his head low. He goes, may I speak honestly? as a friend, rather than reverently as your servant.
Always, and please call me Kiki.
He smiles really brightly when you say that, and he stands up and he goes, and he just goes and he puts his hand on your chest, like just full, like right on the titty, and he's just like, and he just goes, and he's just like, if you are following and answering something, the only time that is freedom is when you're following your heart. You have to love what you do, and you have to be looking to follow that love all the time. I am so glad to hear that you're doing that now. I don't mean to insult you, but it feels
You're not.
the way that you're beginning. Yeah, and he sort of steps in like an inch further, and he goes, the way that you're describing what you did before, it feels like you didn't truly live. And now you have, and he sort of takes his hand off and looks around, doesn't think anything of what he just did, and he sort of looks around and he's like, you have this whole place that's adoring you. There's gardens and a bathhouse and an academy. Some people like books, and that's a thing that they do.
I know a few like that.
You can find what you're looking for here. Not to stay. I wouldn't dare extinguish that fire that's just starting in your heart, those embers that are just catching heat. But find what fans the flames here. I'll be glad to help you find it. And if it is indeed romance, I can maybe help you find that too.
On that note, I appreciate the offer, but not exactly sure what I'm looking for, but I know I'll know it when I find it.
And I hope you find it. Would you like me to show you around the city?
Absolutely, please. And I would love for you to meet my friends again. I know they would be so happy to see you again.
Oh, I would love to. And he just reaches and he scoops and he just immediately locked arms thing with you and just immediately locked arms and just like walks off and just starts going, and he goes, there are places here where people pursue their passions, some more literal, which we can discuss. But I think in your case, perhaps the gardens, perhaps the bathhouses, maybe the bathhouses. And he walks out and he just sort of walks away. And yeah, he wants to show you the different parts of the city.
I'll let him.
Yeah, your tour guide. When Lorius has been here before is not yet been disclosed, but he gets around.
I'm sure he does.
And yes, this is something I absolutely decided a bit ago, was he followed your guys' request to Astoria, and then like the second he found out there was a literal festival in Kiki's honor, he's like, so many unanswered questions, what city are they in right now? Was kind of his response. So he's been here. I think that will summarize it. Is it okay that you guys go like 10-15 minutes over since we started a little bit later?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you guys are here. I think that's it. Unless anybody wants to do anything, we can skip ahead to the day of the Great Games.
I think that I want to for sure, but I think that I'd say after hearing Callista talk about Icarus, I'm like, oh yeah, Icarus, I can practice my Draconic. So I'd like go to him and just listen to him babble and talk about life while I'm like, bask me in your glory, and I'm actually trying to like learn Draconic even more.
I'm gonna say, are you gonna offer him anything?
Am I gonna offer him anything?
Yes.
Oh jeez, I gave away the one thing that I had. Nope. I don't have anything.
Okay, roll a persuasion check.
Okay. Persuasion is not great. Ooh, it's a 6. It's bad.
Yeah, So at a 6, you're there for a while, and he's speaking to others in Draconic, and then he would look over at you and sort of really process that you're there, and he would sort of lean down and go, in common, "Why are you here?"
Just wanted to bask in your glory and see you talk. I'm a very poor man, you know. I just want to, and to see this greatness in front of me is very hard and to find. Wow, that was awkward.
It was.
Yep. Sorry.
I am not for the entertainment of others.
Oh,
But
no.
I am.
I was considering you a teacher. Sorry.
But I am generous. For I am Icarus. Take some of this, and he brushes his head against it. Take some of this gold and go somewhere. Be less poor.
Okay. I'll, like, if there's, like, he doesn't have any copper in there anywhere, eh? I'll just, like, if there's, like, a silver coin, I'll
It's
just...
tons of gold and silver.
Okay, so I'll just grab, like, a silver and be like, thank you, that's about as...
Are you going to tell people that that's the gold that I gave you?
Okay, I'll go grab a gold, thank you.
Take
You are... Okay, I'll grab another. Thank you, you are so kind. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Oh, this did not go the way I wanted to. But thank you, thank you.
He turns to one of his attendants and says in Draconic, "He said he was poor and I offered him gold. He took 2 gold. He is poor because he is simple." And one of the attendants goes, "Yes, my lord." And he goes, "Mm-hmm."
I love Icarus so much.
Can I say how much fun it was to say "go be less poor"? I was like trying to keep a straight face during that, but I was like,
So good. That was so good.
we need a Icarus emote whenever we get them. So anyway, you all would meet together. Euphemian, you write that letter. We'll come back to that in a minute. What was it? I'm gonna send you a message right now.
No joke, I'm totally putting that in my inventory because I have, like, no money. So 2 gold is going into my inventory right now.
He wanted you to take like 15 or 20. Like he
Uh-oh. No.
like he is the vainest motherfucker in the world, but he like wants you to take enough gold that you will go tell people that I have so much gold because of Icarus. That is his end game.
Oh.
Is so that you will take this and sort of witness to the word of how rich Icarus is. That's what he's hoping for.
Would have been faster for me to just hand 25 gold to Krarin.
Yeah. Yeah. The Great Games sometime later. And let me set up something for them. Is this the right music I want? Yes, as we get to the Great Games in Mitros, in a Colosseum at the base of Vulcanus. This Colosseum, people crowding in. It is not yet the day that the games begin, but it's the day before where people are introduced and the rules are explained, and generally the beginning of this whole 7-day affair. As each of you appears there, and we'll go through those days quicker than this session, as each of you eventually makes your way back there, what was it? Oh, wait. What was it? Okay. Okay. So you guys make your way there, and you see Valis basically in this giant arena, and there's like places for you to go up on the in the area. Like basically, because it's like it's like the pre-show kind of vibe. So like there's not really like real rules as to where people can walk. Like some people are walking through the middle of the Coliseum from one way to another through the arena area, and attendants are walking around. People are like going in the seats. There's people like in the stands selling things. People outside the Coliseum like hawking like food and wine. And you see Valis talking to King Acostus, and I'm gonna say Kyra's with you all, and she would just say, she goes, okay, these things get a little rowdy. They're fun because they make stories of like heroes and triumph and failure and defeat, but also they're a lot. And I think Euphemian, Kraven would know this. Callista might have heard some things. Basically, what she means by a lot, you see this large, hulking minotaur walk by, just like this huge great axe on his back and just this massive shield on his left side. And he walks over and looks at all of you and just, And then you see this nymph woman walking by, and as she like walks, as she walks over, you see like a bunch of people in the stands that are like, oh, there she is, and they're like a bunch of like young men and women, like in the like teens and in the early 20s, and they what was it? And they look over, and one of them goes, Falana, and she this woman looks over, and she just. And when she does, a bunch of them just fucking lose their shit. Just absolutely, just scream. I think this two guys basically come to blows as to whether she was kissing him or him. Like, it just drives them nuts.
Is it kind of like when Elvis would like throw his handkerchief?
Oh,
his
absolutely.
Sweaty... Okay.
Absolutely.
Love it.
If she's walking past us at all, I'm just gonna start to follow her, and hopefully someone will grab me. But like, I want to introduce myself.
Yeah, Kyra won't. She's not going to stop whatever you're starting. So, yeah, you walk over, and she sees you. You go, and she sees you. And she looks at you, and goes, "Oh, aren't you one of the heroes?"
I am. I haven't heard of you, but you seem quite popular. Who are you?
Falana. I'm one of the competitors tomorrow. I've already done my entries, and looking forward to representing my district. And are you competing, or what would you be doing?
What's your event?
And she sort of looks at you, sizes you up for a minute. Give me 1 second. I need to look up, because there's a lot of notes about this whole thing. There's a lot more than you think there would be. And she looks around and she goes, Discus, the Great Relay. You?
Yeah, but I'll
I'm sorry, you're cut off. What was that?
Sorry. I don't know what I'm going to compete in yet, but I'm definitely going to catch yours.
Oh, you don't know what you're going to compete in? And you see her look kind of like amused, like, oh, that's cute of you. That's cute. And she goes, well, it's always nice to have a fan. And she brushes her hand across her cheek. And you hear this woman, this like 17-year-old girl in the stands go, oh, fuck you. She just looks and goes, see you again soon. Walks off and walks like into like under the like the private areas underneath the Coliseum. All of these people gathering, and Kyra just goes, And it goes, so yeah, it's a lot because everybody's egos come into play. They can get really violent. People can actually die. I mean, Callie, you're going to want to take some notes on Callie. Okay. Okay. And she turns to Euphemian and just without missing a beat starts to like continues and she's like, she goes, I can't stop exposition. It's important. And she goes, and she's like, there's going to be people, events across the 7 days, and people come and try to show off their skills. They take it a little bit seriously, though, and also there are attendants in case somebody dies. Euphemian would know about this. Krarin, I don't know if you would know about this. It's basically anybody that would be really educated about this whole thing. About a century ago, these aren't held at a fixed interval. Like every 4 years would be ridiculous, but they're held like whenever it's appropriate, like whenever there's a massive cause for celebration or a celebration is needed. About 100 years ago, Sidon invoked his, because these are ostensibly in honor of the gods, and Sidon invoked his rights in such things to make adjustments. And he made it so that the opening ceremony of these games needs to be a fight to the death. And one person, not for everybody, but all of the people that were admitted into the games and allowed into the games basically fight almost a battle royale until one person is dead. And then that death is dedicated to, hello Washburnello, that death is dedicated to Sidon, and then the games begin in earnest. And so that's what she means. She means like, yeah, there's a lot of celebrities here. One of them's going to be dead in the next 24 hours.
Oh my god.
And she goes, also, there's limits on how much magic can be used. I mean, you know. And she goes, if someone's entering the tournament, they can enter of their own volition and they can have one attendant. The attendant can use their magic to help that person. They can't use their magic to hinder anybody else. So Kiki, if Euphemian maybe had some magic for you, or Cray, if maybe there's a running event. And like she has like the shyness, like she's asking you like as a personal favor. And she's just like, if you guys wanted to and maybe they could help out, like we could do that.
Would love to run, but you know, I channel my inner self and I can use it to help me go faster. I don't know if that's magic because it's me.
You can go faster?
Well, I mean, no, I mean what we ran.
Oh, okay. Still.
Yeah.
And she goes, also, you know, it's important because there's a lot of people that might want to cheat, and there's a lot of people that use this for ego and politics and everything like that. So that,
Are you okay?
Yeah.
I just want to run because it's fun.
I just realized something.
Yes. Are you gonna run?
I can't run. That's not allowed. In order to keep the games fair, they're judged. And she looks over like where like the people in high society, like high esteem, are held. She goes, they're judged by someone who can't lie. And you look over and you see, greeting the others, the Oracle Versi, like taking your hand of Valis and nodding, and looking at Acostus and nodding. And Kyra goes, okay. It's been a while since I've been this self-conscious. What'd you say?
She got here quickly.
And that's where we'll end for right now. But we're gonna fade out for just a second. We're gonna fade out for just 1 second. Elsewhere in the kingdom, at some point, a letter arrives. What was it? Let me see. Give me 1 second. A letter arrives. This man sits in this chair. The attendant comes to him, presents this, and says, "There's a letter for you, sir." And he goes, "Well, read it." "Gods, no, I can't." Yes, and he opens the letter, and this servant reads it as stoically as he can, and the letter reads.
You actually want me to read it?
You're welcome to.
Okay.
To.
The letter reads, "Father, I write to you to inquire to your well-being. I have heard nothing from you since the beginning of the year. With the recent troubles, I hope all is well on the island. Your son, Euphemian."
And Jen says, "Did you want to send the letter back? Sir, if the rumors are true, he should be easy to get a hold of." And the man just goes, "What is there to say?" "I'm tired." Gets up. "See me to my chambers." Walks, guided away. A letter held heavy in his heart as the different families and friends of the four heroes are all catching wind of what they are up to, where they have been, as the past catches up to them and they chase towards the future. And that is where we will truly end the session. Thank you all for playing.
It was so good. Thank you so much.
You're amazing. You guys are amazing. I said it off camera, but I wanted to say